Yeah, an internet talking stick.
Yeah. It's funny because, again, when we were with each other, we just talked over each other more, which is pretty funny.
And we could do like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but with a talking stick, and we just mail it back and forth. Like the slowest episode. Would have a lot of time to think about our replies.
That's like the very old school mail-in D&D method. Did you ever know about that?
You are my D&D correspondent, so you tell me what's up with D&D by mail.
So how it worked was it would be a weekly thing. Everyone would mail in what they were doing, and the dungeon master would essentially mail back what everyone said and what happened. And how you would do the dice rolls was everyone would follow a certain stock.
Uh-huh.
And like the last 2 digits of the stock, like on like say Monday or whatever, is what your like D20 rolled.
Whoa.
Right? And
That's
you would
cool.
everyone would read the newspaper and check like the NASDAQ, say, or the S&P 500, and be like, okay, whatever the last 2 digits is, that's what I rolled to like attack the monster.
Huh. Well,
when people get really nostalgic about the past, it just puts into perspective how we are for sure living in the best time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, it could be
For
better,
sure.
but like, holy shit, have we come a long ways.
right, we have to go to the grocery store, get the newspaper, read the stock, go back to your house.
Well,
And now we just pull out a little electronic magic book in our pocket. Can play whenever we want.
Alexa, get me food.
just any food.
I was waiting for her to reply.
Do you have one? Do you have an Echo?
I think he's mandated by the company to have one.
I was talking about you, Kevin.
Oh, hell no. I don't trust that shit.
I'm just
It's
like
going to narc on me.
my view is that like, listen, they could be listening to your phone at any moment. I'm like, fuck it. Might as well just make it easier for the NSA at this point. Like,
I mean, that's what we're doing with this. Our podcast subtitle is just a dossier of material that'll end up in prison. So, I mean, we're kind of handing it over to them edited.
Yeah, for sure. So they can get an
Curated.
efficient,
Right.
court process.
Well,
Right.
it's not like they can't worm their way into the original files anyway. Like, they'd figure it out.
They'd figure it out. Just like what I'll figure out that this is episode 56 of Blackmail Material.
Hi-yo.
Live. And I'm your host, Jack, along with Kevin and Dave. And we're here to just talk. Just sip this kombucha. I'm drinking kombucha again.
Aren't you hip?
I know. I used to brew kombucha.
Did you
Oh,
really?
no. So you have that weird starter, that weird fungus?
Yeah, I did. What you do to brew kombucha is you have this thing called a SCOBY, or the mother, that people actually call it the mother.
That you
And it's
get
just
from the back
live.
alley of a Whole Foods from a
Yes.
dude.
I
So,
already
yeah.
hate-
That's the interesting thing about kombucha is you're supposed to get this SCOBY or live culture from somebody else who brews kombucha. It's like a community thing, You're supposed to go to your hippie neighbor, just be like, hey man, rip off a piece of that SCOBY, boy.
You
it's
say
like-
community, I hear cult.
Yeah. So it's like that. The Amish friendship bread. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes,
It's like that.
it's
where
exactly like that.
That's a great way to give someone inconvenience as a gift. Because then it's like, oh, here's the thing, you have to bake it,
Right.
and then give it to others.
Nurture this bacteria.
The thing is, it's like easier than growing a plant. Because you still have to feed it, right? You still have to feed this SCOBY. What you do is you put a SCOBY basically in really sweet tea. So you have to brew the tea, put a lot of sugar in it, and it has to be a specific type of tea. Usually not green tea, but usually black tea. And then you put it in there and you wait like 30 days, and the SCOBY will grow. It like doubles in size. It's crazy. It looks like a huge booger. Doubles in size.
It's cell culture.
Yeah, as a cell culture. And then you use this like funneling mechanism to like go get the liquid and move it into some bottles. And then you kind of put fruit in there, and then the live culture feeds off the fruit for the last couple days, and it carbonates.
You're basically describing a good chunk of my job, but like on a very tiny scale.
This is a lot of work for like bad ginger ale.
It was so much work.
Yeah.
I kept it up for like 6 months, and then I just let it die.
I'm just amazed how I don't get how ancient peoples could have figured shit like this out. You know what I mean? I just don't how do you just like randomly stumble upon this method?
It's 100% by accident. They had some sort of like Great Hall feast. Someone left some shit in a clay pot, came upon it months later and went, oh, fuck it, let's drink it.
Right.
I'm tired of being constantly, perpetually drunk. Let's try this.
The lowest IQ pilgrim was like, I'll drink it.
Fuck it.
It's like my thing with the Japanese pufferfish meal, where it's like, how many people did they go through to figure this shit out? You know?
How many people died trying to cut the pufferfish in a specific way?
All right, Kanji, it's your time.
Yeah,
his name is Kanji. Is Kanji a name? Isn't that just like the characters?
I'm gonna say that is a name.
I thought, really? Wouldn't that be like naming your child Alphabet? I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong. I'm not like well versed in Japanese. Only if you're a celebrity. Is there like it's as if there's a law where if you're a celebrity, you have to name your child something really fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like, what drives that? What drives someone to name their child Apple? Or whatever the fuck.
When your kid goes to private school and everyone's parent is a famous actor and everyone rolls up in a G-Wagon, you need some sort of differentiation.
Yeah, how weird do you think that school is? Because it must exist, right?
It's a lot of standoffish people because they don't want to piss anyone off because they don't know how famous their dad is.
Like, my name, it's like your name's Apple, right? Like the fruit. You're like, no, motherfucker, like the company. Step off.
I'm named after a software company.
Right.
This is Apple and your sister Microsoft.
Right. I'm expensive, okay? Not like your bitch ass Apple you get for 60 cents.
Yeah, and your younger brother, Sun Microsystems.
Yeah. I guess Alphabet's technically a name of a company now.
Yeah, it's Google, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I still don't understand the logic behind why they did that. Because, like,
obfuscation.
I guess no one knows that that's them. Every time they write that, like in the newspaper, they have to say, like, Alphabet, the parent company of Google, because no one knows that that's a thing.
Exactly. They can move on the low.
I guess.
Yeah, speaking of expensive startups, I watched the Fyre documentary on Netflix.
I was about to say, I wanted to talk about this. I've not
Have
seen
any
it.
of you watched it?
I've not. I just saw the trailer.
Yeah,
right,
Bina
great.
just told me about it 15 minutes ago.
Is it good? I would
It is fascinating in the way that what was that show about the Bagwan?
Wild Wild Country? It looked like Wild Wild Country.
It's kind of following Billy McFarland, who is the entrepreneur behind Fyre Media and the Fyre Festival, as this like weirdly charismatic guy who somehow manages to like step forward through this crazy manifesto, and everyone just wants it to work so bad that they just continue to go on to his plan. Yeah. So like he has a like a 22-year-old like, you know, social media advisor, and it's like, okay, can you start booking Blink 182 and Major Lazer for this festival? He's like, what? Okay, and now you need to build all of the infrastructure for like world-class music acts. Can you do that on an island with no infrastructure? He's like, what? Okay, my Swedish friend who learned how to fly planes off of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Can you determine the like water infrastructure of a bunch of porta potties, please?
What?
And then all these people are just like, yeah, I felt like I was part of something special. I wanted it to work.
So it's all these people who like. So is it really like an examination of people that can't say no to someone kind of vibe?
Because the thing is, he would always show up with money. Because I guess he had contacts from like the high New York echelon and would just appear with $2 to $3 million. So it's like, well, their money is there, so I guess I'm gonna give it a shot.
He also had Ja Rule available to help.
That's the thing I wish there was more of, is because it was like the Bagwan and Wild Wild Country where he didn't really talk that much. It was always like clips of him, but he never addressed like the issues.
God, I would love if that documentary was done by the Duplass brothers and they made it seem like Wild Wild Country, like they put all the footage through that app that makes it look like it was on videotape, so it looks like it's from the 90s.
That's the thing I was thinking about, because they hired this film crew to like make a behind-the-scenes documentary of Fyre Festival.
Oh, like it was actually shot in real time?
Yeah, but then it just slowly turned to shit. You know what I mean?
Were the same people who filmed the behind the scenes the people who made this documentary ultimately?
That's a great question. Because, like, I don't know. Part of the controversy of this is that Hulu and Netflix both have Fyre Festival documentaries. So I don't know, like, how much footage is duplicated between these two projects and how different the interviews are and all that kind of shit. Word on the street is the Hulu version has Billy McFarland in it. So that's the one I really want to watch.
Yeah, but it's on Hulu, which means it does not exist in my ability to watch it.
Yeah, so ostensibly Billy McFarland was one of these guys that just had money, so he's just like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just film it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. God.
So there was a film crew there that was just like, all right, we're going to make a behind-the-scenes thing, and then they just watch, like, as all these rich kids roll up into yellow school buses and then roll up on the FEMA tents, and they go like, oh, shit, we need to capture this. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to keep recording as long as I possibly can.
So that was the story of the whole thing? He just had money and was really charismatic, and he just kind of like wrote people in like, oh, I got all this money. It's definitely like a real thing, no problem. And then the social media guys like actually made the pretty sort of promo videos and Instagram posts and stuff, and then it just like sort of became a thing out of nothing.
Yeah, they were talking about the marketing agency behind the first trailer and how that was basically enough momentum to get the whole thing started. They talked about the social media campaign and how successful it was and how like manufactured it was. And just the momentum off of that just made everything possible. That gave Billy McFarland just enough to keep getting like $1 million here, a couple $100,000 here and there. So like it was always on just the bleeding edge of about to like fall apart.
Yeah, and it spread, yeah. And people were, like, committed to going. Like, I remember reading stories on Reddit while it was happening of, like, people's, like, testimony. Because it happened, like, over 36 hours, right? Essentially.
Yeah, like, it rose and fell really quickly. Like, there was a scene in the documentary where Billy McFarland was just spitting ideas to make money. He's like, okay, we're going to get a Coca Cabana with, like, one of your favorite influencers in there for, like, $500,000. 20 people will buy that. And then it just cuts to a designer saying, like, do you have a cabana to sell? Oh, wait, it's already on the website. Oh, fuck, it's sold out. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
So it's this Billy McFarland guy who just is a silver-tongued fox who can just generate ideas, but had no idea about how to execute the ideas.
So he wanted to be like the guy in a movie being like, get it done.
Basically. Up until the people were on the island, he's like, this will work. Make it happen. We're a solutions team, not a problem team.
So he's like the leader of a group of people in a Michael Bay movie.
Essentially, yes.
I guess it's funny because that's how a lot of leaders operate, except that they actually do it. They have people around who they know can actually get it done.
Yeah.
He just sort of it seems like he shortcut like one very important thing. It's like
he needed like an engineer
who could actually do it. Yeah.
Or an actual businessman.
Or people that knew what they were doing.
No, but he had Ja Rule, right? That was the thing?
Yeah, and Ja Rule could do everything, so.
I wish there was more Ja Rule.
What is Ja Rule? Joel's a rapper?
He was a rapper, actor, MC.
Okay.
Was he in a Fast and Furious? I feel like he was in Fast and Furious before he got replaced by Ludacris.
I feel like he paid a lot of money not to be in the Fyre documentary.
He was the original Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
and they got replaced by Ja Rule.
You mean replaced by Ludacris?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sick as fuck. I am just trying to keep it together.
Every actor in Fast and Furious got replaced by Ja Rule.
I was gonna say, you realize how insane that sentence is, right? It's like, oh no, he got replaced by Ludacris. It's just like, this is a movie. This is a very popular movie.
Yeah, it would be weird to have a movie where you replace someone with Ja Rule. That would I would find that quite surprising.
Right, he's the one who gets replaced.
Yeah. No, what was it? I remember like reading about accounts of people that like they sold their car to go to the Fyre Festival because it was expensive.
Oh god.
And it's like
it was like 25,000.
Yeah, there are multiple tiers of just
Well, I think
escalating.
the lowest tier was like still 800. It was like 800 something, which is like that's how much Burning Man costs apparently now. Tickets for Burning Man are like $800. Yeah, I love the accounts of people that are like super into Burning Man, and then now like Wall Street guys and like tech bros with a lot of money show up, and they expect it to be like different for them, and like the clash between like the old school Burning Man people who are like communists and like Wall Street bankers, and how they like hate each other is pretty funny. It's always fun.
You know what? I never thought of Burning Man as a festival that had an admission, because it's in just the middle of the desert. So how would you ever check if people bought their tickets? People like paraglide into Burning Man.
That's actually a really good question. I can't imagine like
why
admission stand.
They do have some
they, like filter through one tiny gate in the middle of the desert, and everybody just like obeys the rules and just like we're good. This one.
Yeah, I guess I don't quite understand how it works. I do know there are tickets
on
for
the
it.
registrar with your Travis Scott Astroworld skull. I don't see you on the register. Did you send an email confirmation?
Could you take off your tribal cosplay real quick? I need to see your face.
Can you tame your leopards, please? We need to get your wristband on.
We also have to wristband the leopards.
Right.
Can you sedate them, please?
It's like how PAX has to register all your fake weapons.
It's
like Burning Man has to register all your batshit insane animals.
I believe the convention lingo is peace bond or something.
What?
Or it's just they zip tie the triggers down or something like that.
You can take this gun blade from my cold, dead hands.
But if it's not a real gun...
I think it's so you don't shoot Nerf guns at people.
It just seems like a problem that they never thought they would have. And now they're like, yeah, we have to deal with this now.
Yeah, Burning Man's kind of gotten too big for itself at this point.
I guess that's the sad thing, right? I guess
Once Major Lazer is playing there, I think it gets too big. I think that's how it goes. Yeah.
I didn't know it was actual music festival. I thought it was like artists would come.
It's a part of it. Yeah.
And just kind of do their thing if they wanted.
Yeah, I thought it was an ayahuasca venue.
It's sort of
a sort of DMT zone.
Right.
My understanding is the artists coming there, like the musicians coming there that are big, has been what's ruined it. Because they expect like a trailer and so, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When like, Burning Man's supposed to be like modern hippies with weirder modern drugs.
Yeah, you can't expect a mini fridge with LaCroix out there. You're supposed to be one with the sand.
Yeah, but it's in Diplo's rider, so
Fuck.
Well, your exit ticket to Burning Man is just you have to like reach like 2 feet up your butt and pull out sand. That's how you know like you were at Burning Man enough. Like if you don't have sand in every crevice of your body, then you can't leave. You haven't been there long enough.
Yeah. What would you put in your Burning Man rider? If you showed up and had, 10 pages of contract to fill, what would you put in there? What's part of your mandatory equipment?
Part of me wants to just fuck with them and ask for something very inconvenient. I don't know. Burning Man rider. That's a good question.
Like a submarine.
Some pizza Pringles, Sour Patch watermelon. Mountain Dew voltage only. Don't fuck with that green and red shit for me. Give me that blue stuff.
Crystal Pepsi.
Yeah. That's fair.
Trampolines.
That's okay. That's going to be there. There's going to be a trampoline at Burning Man. I'm sure of it.
I need a full-size trampoline basketball court. It's how I get my chakras up.
I would just ask for Nicolas Cage in a cage. I just ask for Cage.
Does he need a certain outfit? Does he need to be occupying a certain role from his career?
He needs to be wearing quick Google image search Sean Connery Zardoz, and he needs to be wearing that costume.
I need Con Air Nick Cage.
He needs to be wearing that costume. He needs to be making the noise he made when he got covered by all those bees in that movie.
Yeah.
Just constantly screaming.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, why don't we just do the Wicker Man at Burning Man? We're just going to stick Nick Cage in the Burning Man thing.
Right. We're going to redo the Wicker Man. Yeah.
No, but I think that'd be the principal part of my rider is just Nick Cage in a cage.
I need a soundboard with hip hop ad libs. That's just critical.
And gigantic
but it needs to be the soundboard needs to be operated by a guy following you around.
Mm-hmm.
He's
my squire.
You can't operate it.
I mean, really, what would be the perfect Burning Man accoutrement is that gigantic guitar amp car from Mad Max.
Ooh.
Yes.
That would be the absolute perfect on theme item to bring.
That is true. That would be
can I get a
good.
Voltron statue, but it's all just speakers, and I just blast the bass.
Right. It's like swinging. I mean, there has to be something like that at Burning Man. It's just too perfect for Burning Man.
Yeah.
I mean, even people in that movie look like they go to Burning Man.
What's the other one? What's the Mad Max themed festival? Do you know about that one?
That's not Burning Man? Because it seems like a one-for-one.
No, it's a different one. It's like post-apocalyptic only. It's called like Wasteland Weekend or something.
That's kind of cool.
It's out in like California. It's not in Nevada. Yeah, there is something like that where it's just Mad Max cars as a festival. It's out there's like this abandoned town that was a planned community in like rural California that never got built, but they laid out all the streets. So it's like this loop of, I think it's like a loop of streets and a couple buildings. But it's like, imagine if you laid out the road for a neighborhood without building the houses because the project got abandoned. It's like out near there.
I think the Mythbusters went to this place to do their myth on drunk driving. I think they went here, they set up some tents, got blasted, and then they drove around the neighborhood just to see how bad you were at driving when you were drunk.
Is that the same one?
I'm pretty sure that's the same one.
Is that the same episode where they try to beat the breathalyzer?
Yeah.
From way back? Wow. That's
way back. And I remember them going to a town, which is basically exactly what you described. It looked like a weird ghost town.
I think it's like Baker, California. It's something like that. It's like an abandoned town. Yeah. It was a planned community that never got built. Yeah, it's just somewhere out there. All those weird California plans that never occur. It's always a fascinating dive.
I thought you were going to talk about Slab City. I thought that's what you were referring to.
Isn't Slab City an anarchist area?
Yeah.
No, it's something else.
I was confused. I didn't know if Slab City started off as a planned community that never got built.
I think it might be the same situation, but I don't think anyone lives here.
Right.
Yeah, it's sort of. I always thought Slab City was kind of closer to like Centralia, Pennsylvania. You know.
You
remember? Have you ever been there? I've never been
to Centralia. Yeah.
Do you guys know what it is?
This?
It's it was a mining town, like northern Pennsylvania mining town, right? Coal mine. And it's like the town is over the mine. And one day in the 60s, in like the late 60s, early 70s, there was a mine fire and the coal in the mine caught fire.
Oh boy.
So, and they tried everything they could, and they could not put it out.
They just went, fuck it.
Like, they tried plugging every air vent they could find. They tried flooding it. They've tried, they tried a bunch of things. They could not... There's, a vent or something where it's still getting air, and they can't find it. So, the fire is just, forever... It will, burn for, 100 years.
Oh, so this is ongoing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they had to, force people out of the town. And it's, And it's crazy. It's this weird ghost town where all these people have come... There's a lot of weird abandoned shit in Pennsylvania, actually, but it's this weird ghost town where people have come. It's covered in graffiti. People that just go off-roading all over it. You can it's just this abandoned town. It's
that
freaky.
Sounds pretty sick, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that out here. There's
I remember. Well, real quick, Centralia. So we drove out there, and it's kind of strange because that was all we did. We got in the car, we drove out to Centralia, and. Yeah, it's just this old town, which just abandoned, and then you kind of go to the top of this little hill, and then you just sort of see wisps of smoke rising out of the ground all around you, and all these rocks and stuff, and you kind of just think to yourself, oh shit, there's a fire still burning underneath, and it's you're standing on the top of hell.
Yeah, and also I think it could open as a sinkhole at any second as part of the.
Right.
Part of
because they're literally burning the structure of the mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
No, but there's abandoned stuff I-76, which is it's this huge interstate, But there's all these weird, like, abandoned bypasses that you can kind of access. Like, you're not supposed to be able to, but you can. And it's sort of like an urban exploring thing. Like, there's abandoned highway tunnels that people, like, do the Centralia shit on, where they just, like, go there and, like, weird hill people live in them, and people are, like, graffitiing the inside of the tunnel. And it's just, like, weird abandoned stretches of highway that got bypassed and then closed off.
I'm glad this is real.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's got a lot of that shit. Out in the mountains near the Lehigh Valley.
That's interesting. That reminds me of that. You guys ever watch that YouTube channel, Proper People?
No, what's it about?
Oh, man. It's these two guys. I should have saved it for it came from the internet. But yeah, it's just two guys. And they just like, I think they're like 22. They just bring cameras into these abandoned places and they just film it. They just like very good quality. It's like any YouTube channel is like 500,000 subscribers. So a lot of subscribers. And it's like good quality video content and audio and stuff. And they'll explore like an abandoned Six Flags, or they explored an abandoned like gigantic steel plant. And they went to Japan and they explored a abandoned like huge seaside resort. And they'll just sort of walk into the places and kind of film everything.
That's cool.
But are they doing commentary, or are they just filming it, just presenting it like cinema verite style, like here it is?
Oh, no, they do a little bit of both, but they say like the majority of it is commentary. Okay, but then they'll sort of sometimes cut to more like a couple seconds of like cinematic, like pans and cuts and stuff. They got like audio mixed in there. They do a pretty good job editing and stuff like that.
Do you guys watch the Grand Tour?
Oh yeah, have you watched the season 3?
I have. Grand Tour? Have you?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but like that, where they go to Detroit, and like they go to like the abandoned parts of Detroit and try and turn it into like, I haven't finished the episode, but they were turning it into like a racetrack and just driving around in muscle cars. And at one point they just like buy a house to stay in because they couldn't find a hotel. So they're like, all right, we'll just buy a house. And it's like,
Jack, question: how much do you think they bought this house for?
Oh yeah,
in Detroit?
Yes, it's a 3-bedroom house.
It was a 3-bedroom house, had a 3-car garage and a full-size carriage house with a kitchen.
Starting bid
$40,000.
Ooh, all right. You need to go way down, sir.
Really?
You need to set it lower.
What?
Detroit, the abandoned part of Detroit, son.
Yeah.
Detroit 2019.
Oh, God. All right. I thought that was low because you guys are describing a huge house.
I will say that the number they did buy it for is higher than I thought.
$15,000.
Keep going.
You are a bougie motherfucker.
8,000.
Whoa.
You're getting there.
Are you fucking
serious? But not quite.
4,000.
Whoa.
2,200, sir.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious for that house?
And it's like a nice house.
What? Did it have like...
I mean, like, the inside's completely destroyed, but...
I mean, granted, there was no appliances, no furniture, but like...
Did it have
a shell of a house for 2,200.
What? Yeah. Wow. That's insane.
What's crazy is they go over this. Detroit was the richest city in the world in like the 60s, I think, 50s or 60s.
Was it?
Yeah. Certainly in America. It was close to in the world. And now it's Detroit in 2019.
The steepest decline.
It is a little bit better than like 10 years ago, evidently. Like when it went fully bankrupt. But it's still not great.
So do those houses have like water service and electricity and stuff?
Or that's a great question. It's hard to say.
I think they just did it so that they could do the joke. That's that was the vibe I got.
I was going to say that's a huge commitment, but I guess maybe not.
Which they did that same joke on Top Gear when they were in Spain. They bought a house, but not for that cheaply. Because it was like when the Spanish economy was in complete free fall. They just like bought a house instead of used a hotel.
I gotta say,
like the same joke.
This season promises much less tent segments, which basically means they cut out all the shit I don't care about.
I don't mind the tent because I like. I'm happy they cut out the interview.
Yeah, they keep Conversation Street, but they cut out the interviews with people you don't care about.
Right, which was my opinion on interviews generally.
Your opinion on interviews is the most infuriating thing about you.
That is?
Yes. So Dave's point is he would watch Deezus and Miro.
Right.
And just watch their commentary on current events.
I would watch the first segment.
And then he would always skip the interview.
What?
Because he doesn't like hearing people's new opinions.
No, I just don't. First of all, I would watch Jesus and Miro in the morning, so I've got like 5 minutes, quick eat breakfast, and then I would head out. So it's like, yeah, I'll watch the first segment of Jesus and Miro, that first third, and then I'll like go to work.
I thought you said something like, I like what Jesus and Miro say, I don't care what the other new people say.
Sort of, yeah. I tend not to. I liked watching Jesus and Miro because I liked Jesus and Miro.
You're robbing yourself of quality entertainment if you're skipping Jesus and Miro interviewing Charlemagne. I'm just telling you, like there are people.
There are some
who
people
just elevate
some
the
people
game
that
so
if it's
much.
someone I want to see, then yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. You only watch the interview if it's someone you've already heard of.
Yeah, but like no,
That's
it's
how
like,
I hear it, people.
Because I used to watch The Daily Show every single morning for years, and I would do that too. I'd watch the first 2 segments and then go to school.
Yeah, I think we came to the conclusion that you like watching kind of auteur programs where it's one person's voice kind of persistent throughout a whole piece.
I guess so. Yeah, I just am not a fan of interview segments. Like on Top Gear, I always skip the interview. Did you enjoy the Top Gear interviews ever?
No, not on that show. But sometimes you watch an interview with someone like you have a familiar host, and then you are, enlightened to someone that's like totally balling out of control.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The thing about the Joe Rogan interviews, I don't actually care about him. I just like that the way that he does it, where it's just 3 hours. Which I think works very well as a interview format, because by the end of that, people are just like totally immersed in it, and they just say whatever, That I actually like, because it gets people really rolling after hour like 1.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that time.
Like that part of the Elon Musk episode after he gets really depressing. Because like after he's like, robots will kill us, robots or global warming will kill us all. And then he just starts talking about electric planes or something.
And then he just hits a blunt.
Yeah. But I mean, there's also Joe Rogan. I'm not a huge fan of the Joe Rogan podcast. There's only a few episodes of that I listen to because I don't like interview shows. Because it's like, again, I only listen to the ones with like Shane Smith or Dan Carlin or like that Elon Musk one. That's it.
The most recent one, I thought that was interesting. So it was Bill Burr, and I only watched the first, I only got to listen to the first like 15, 20 minutes. But apparently Bill Burr flies helicopters, and
fun.
I thought he was talking about what he was talking about with how you fly helicopters was very interesting. He was saying that as an amateur helicopter pilot, you're sort of you're taught all these things about like aerodynamics and stuff, and then one of the drills they have the instructor do with you is the instructor will cut the engine, and there's a period of time where
they auto
in free fall, they'll auto rotate. So like the plane won't have any, or the helicopter won't have any power, but as long as you descend fast enough, the rotors will spin enough to generate a little bit of upward lift and you won't crash. But if you let the helicopter down too slowly when you don't have power and you get underneath the auto rotate threshold, it will just fall out of the air and you'll almost certainly die.
Yeah,
and you can't restart it if you're falling too slowly. So he was talking about like how he got the right like free fall speed and how you would just like if the engine cut, you got to pick a landing spot like right fucking now, and you got to descend quickly. Even though your instinct is to just be like, all right, slow, we'll descend slowly. If you do, you're fucked.
You need to literally throw caution into the wind.
Yeah. Literally.
I took a couple helicopter lessons, and it's really fucking hard to like fly, especially at low altitudes. It's terrifying because like
why low
because
altitudes?
If you ever look at a picture of a helicopter, what happens when the rotor blade hits the ground before the body of the plane? It sticks into the ground, and then the helicopter goes flying, just flips over and crashes.
Right.
It's really terrifying, but like. They're really sensitive. You can only move like the stick like about an area the size of like 1 inch, and you're trying to just control it, but it doesn't respond immediately. There's like a 3-second delay.
Oh.
So you're like you have to concentrate really hard. But the thing that's really interesting about them is like they are all based on like your movements of the stick are basically affecting the angle of the rotor blades. So and that even like the way a helicopter goes faster is like by angling itself like downward more. so that it's like you're giving yourself more like lateral power, but you don't increase the engine at all, right? They like
you just lean.
Yeah, it's just based on like your angle of attack. So like, but you don't give it more gas ever. Like even in a plane, you can like do that,
right?
You know,
yeah.
It was very interesting because you have to like think in 3 dimensions and shit.
Yeah, that's you saying. It seems really,
it's really
kind
tough.
of terrifying. And he was saying, for you, you're like. You're riding along with me, and it seems really fun. You're pointing out all these like landmarks, and he's like, to me, I'm fucking terrified. I'm gonna crash this thing.
He knows too much.
I will admit,
right.
Leaning out of an open doored helicopter, just like leaning out the door, so much fun. Like I did
I'll let somebody else drive.
Yeah, I did that where it's like you're just hanging by the seatbelt and just like lean outside. Oh, it's pretty fun. I would love to take a ride in like a Black Hawk where you just like sit on like the deck of it, and and just like ride around. I would honestly love to do that.
And then roll up to Burning Man.
Yeah.
And really get the party started.
Yeah.
Fucking rappel down into the trampoline basketball court.
Let's
party.
Have you ever seen that video of I think it was like the British Special Forces or something? They drive a boat into a helicopter. Like the pilots have it so low, it's basically in the water, but like
That's
hovering.
insane.
And these guys just like drive a motorboat right into the heli. I think it was a Chinook, which is fucking humongous. But like,
what is your YouTube recommended like?
I don't know, but I can tell you since I started watching that Forgotten Weapons channel, seeing that, the car reviews I watch, and the football, I think YouTube thinks I've become a Trump supporter. So now all my YouTube ads are Donald Trump ads, and I hate it. It's very frustrating.
Sometimes the algorithm is surprisingly poignant, revealing.
Yeah, it makes me.
The computer's like
really question a lot of my YouTube recent life choices.
The funny thing is, it's like
quite mad.
Your recommended ads on Instagram start to go a little bit to the right.
The other one I've gotten.
You can't get it back.
Is like
it's hard to get back.
I've gotten a lot of. What is it? It was like ads for a company that makes these like silicone rings, so that they don't get like, so that you don't have like an expensive wedding band that gets lost.
Those. Yeah,
I've gotten a lot of ads for that recently, and I'm like, who do you think I am?
I'm busy punching concrete.
That's the
karate
problem.
Chopping wood, and I don't want to scuff up my marital ring.
So is it the algorithm that it determines what they advertise you for? It's only based on one application, right? Like my YouTube ads are only based on my YouTube history, correct?
No,
I don't think
true,
so.
Right?
I think it's just based on
true.
like your cookies.
Right, so it's like, why don't you know that I like listen to Pod Save America and I'm on all these like Democratic donor lists?
Because maybe they don't have advertisements, or maybe the
no, I know. But those things read Gmail, and it's like it's all I use like the podcasts app or Overcast, and it's like that's what I'm subscribed to.
It's also a thing of certain people pay to boost their presence.
I just don't want Donald Trump ads on my YouTube feed. That's it. That's all I'm getting at.
I guess the point is that, if the site would have to do their own advertising for you to sort of get the most, for them to get the most data. So you're right. They could collect if they weren't serving ads just because of your cookies, depending on what kind of scripts they're running. But for the most part, you would be right. I mean, I'm pretty sure YouTube will over-index on its own usage metrics along with the advertiser metrics, and then over-index on theirs. So that's why you're getting different ads on YouTube as you're on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, the Instagram one's the spookiest because, like, when you have their microphone enabled, and then have you had that happen?
I love the Toyota Tacoma.
Right.
That's my favorite, all-wheel vehicle.
Or it's
kind
like
of funny.
No, well, we were in. It's like we were hanging with Molly and Julian. They're planning their wedding and stuff, and then suddenly Christina and I are getting all these ads for wedding rings,
flower arrangements, wedding venues,
and we're like, "What the fuck is it?" Yeah, it's like the spookiest one where I'm like, I didn't search anything.
Right.
Yeah.
The funny thing I found out is that when you buy something, that actually goes into your ad profile because Google has agreements with major credit card companies. I think I was reading an article. They have like a third. Did I talk about? They have a third of all transaction postings on credit cards or something, and they developed this double-blind sort of algorithm. They say that doesn't allow either the credit card company or Google to see who you actually are, but they can share data, and so your purchase history feeds into your advertising profile. And so, especially when I pay for things with Google Wallet on my phone, like the RFID chip in my phone, I just tap on the register. I get ads for things I buy fairly quickly. And it's because they share data with the credit card companies.
It's kind of weird to get advertisements for things you already just bought.
What's weirder is they were talking about this in the book Power of Habit. Basically, based on things you buy, they can predict when you get pregnant and where you are in terms of your pregnancy. Like if you start buying like certain kinds of moisturizer or certain kinds of like medication or certain books or magazines, it's like, okay, this person is starting to look like pregnant woman category.
Man.
Right.
And then the circulars they'll send you in the mail have things that, you know, other pregnant women buy.
Wow.
But like mixed in between like a lawnmower.
Right.
So they told a story about how like some angry dad showed up and said, "Hey, what the fuck? Why are you advertising like pregnancy things to my daughter? She's like 17.
Oh God.
And then it found out like the dad came back later. It's like, okay, so you were right. My bad. Sorry for flipping out in the store. Turns out my daughter was doing some stuff that I was not aware of.
Wow.
And the algorithm has already gotten to like that level.
Mm-hmm. I guess think of it like this. You have all these, like, how many Uber for dog walking apps you have? You know, like 5, right?
What?
Now,
What are you?
How many do you have?
oh,
Why do you have
a
any?
dog?
yeah, how many of you guys have installed on your phone? Because for me, it's definitely 5 or 6. But like, you know how many dumb startups there are. Now take how many dumb startups. Now take the people who would have started those startups, and there are equally as many people who have done things like who have made computer systems that you'll never see, like machine learning against your habits or machine learning against your buying habits.
Mm-hmm.
There's as many people doing that shit right now and innovating on that front as there are innovating on products that we actually see.
Okay, I see.
And think about that, and then look at all the innovation that's happening that you'll never see. You know, like
That's
why
fair, yeah.
why is ads getting so good? It's because there are huge numbers of very smart people working on machine learning and natural language processing and stuff like that.
And the financial incentive is huge.
It's fucking enormous. Advertising is the biggest industry in the world, or something like that. It's insane.
That's upsetting.
You know,
Right.
it is.
But when they recommend my Chelsea boots that I've been looking for 6 months, when it gets 15% off, I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, I will admit, if it directs me to the things I actually like,
Yeah, I'm just like, fuck, it is kind of convenient.
yeah, I was thinking
Getting
that too.
so good.
I
I'd
was
rather-
thinking about this.
It's
Shit.
like I'd rather get the advertisements that are targeted. Like, I don't need adult diapers, thankfully, right now.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Thankfully, well, the advertising will tell. The advertising
yeah,
algorithm
they'll
will
tell me
you
what I
you
need
them.
when I
Right?
need
They'll
it.
just show up at your house. when you
Well, I
need them.
think, but hopefully by that time we'll have some sort of weird 3D printed thing in your pants that will it'll generate an adult diaper.
It's
on
like
you.
that Iron Man suit. You just press a button and it just materializes, you know.
I don't want to admit
diaper.
how probable as a product that could be. Right?
I like the idea of a Marvel branded Iron Man suit, but it doesn't like generate a crazy laser Gatling gun. It just produces like an adult diaper that's very absorbent.
Does it come in the briefcase?
No, you got to take out your cavity in your chest.
Oh,
A worthwhile
That's the
trade, I
only-
think.
that's the only way it's powered by
Yeah.
a nuclear reactor. It's in your torso.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think you
know?
might get cancer. I'm not 100%, but
If I can turn my hand into like a microwave so I can put small pastries in there,
Isn't,
you know, that
isn't
might be worth it.
Isn't superhero giving you cancer? Isn't that the plot to Watchmen, or at least the subplot to it?
I don't really remember the plot
Dead
of
air.
Watchmen.
That's one of the few comic books I've actually read is Watchmen. I finished it in the theater as the lights dimmed for the movie.
Wait, so you showed up with the graphic novel?
I was reading it for like a week in advance because I wanted to read it before I saw the movie. Because it is like, you know, an important graphic novel.
It's dense.
But it's just by the time I finished it, was that exact moment when I was about to watch the movie. Yeah.
Wow, you're really cutting it close there.
Yeah, literally. But
you're the most primed. It's the freshest it can be.
Yeah, good movie. Apparently, I think they're making a Watchmen TV show on HBO.
Yes, I think I saw this. I think it's a Rorschach origin story type deal, I guess.
I'm a little conflicted because I think that could be really good. And all those channels are doing like superhero shows now anyway. Watchmen is about as fitting as it could be for an HBO variant.
As long as they keep Zack Snyder away from it, I feel okay about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as he's 100 feet away.
No one tries harder. It's like, God bless him. No one tries harder, but it's just not going to work.
Do not let him near a word processing program. Let him direct the camera work. That's fine.
It's fine. He made his magnum opus. He made, oh my God, what's the one with the girls with the sailor costumes and the giant robot samurai?
Sucker Punch.
He made Sucker Punch.
Visually stunning.
Amazing visuals. One of my favorite visual movies. One of the worst written movies of all time.
The least coherent.
It's a movie of amazing desktop wallpapers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
I still have one on shuffle to this day.
Is it really? Because come on. This robot, her shooting the robot samurai, and it has like the Gatling gun and the spear.
And there's snow everywhere. Yeah,
God.
dude.
I just want to watch those fight scenes again. Or like the time when they go to like, it's like both steampunk and cyberpunk at the same time, and like they fight World War I clockwork zombies or something. Do you remember that?
This movie, Sucker Punch, looks like Ready Player One crossed with anime.
Yeah, it's man, he needs to not write anything, but the best visuals.
Yeah.
The Watchmen movie was okay.
I remember it being very boring.
Watchmen's very boring.
Yeah, I remember that too. That's all I remember about the movie.
Yeah, but it's pretty faithful. They weren't able to... Part of the things with Watchmen that make him, like, visually interesting is that...
glowing blue penis.
Yeah, that's part of it. But also, like, apparently at the time...
With chiseled abs.
Yeah, on the penis. But,
Whew.
Ab penis is the title. Lock it down.
Chiseled ab penis. Thank you very much.
Sorry, chiseled ab penis. Please don't make that the title. I'm sorry I ever said anything.
Please do.
Please don't.
Please do. Anyway, but like, no, I like Watchmen, the colors. My understanding, I don't know a lot about comics, but I do know that like the coloring that's in Watchmen was like sort of considered bold, at least at the time, as far as like a visual choice. Because it uses like a lot of like purple and I want to say like purple hues that are like dark, but also a lot of bold colors at the same time. And like they had like a coloring artist who like was very famous for his work on Watchmen when you like read into it. And they tried to do that in the movie, but it didn't quite come across as much because it's just like harder to do that on film.
I remember it being visually striking, but the story and the characters did not leave much of an impression on me.
They cut out a little bit too much and then changed it. Like, because the ending is different than the comic. Because I feel like the original ending to Watchmen is a bit confusing. And it's so, like, the ending of the movie is easier to understand, I think. Because, like, in the comic, spoiler for Watchmen ending.
For anybody
Just
who
warning.
cares.
Yeah, well, I mean, people care. People still read Watchmen, but it's spoilers. In the ending to Watchmen, instead of, like, making it about Dr. Manhattan, like... In the movie, he makes, like, the world hate Dr. Manhattan, and, like, that's what ends the Cold War. In the comic, he, like, summons a squid alien from another dimension. He summons two, one to New York, one to Moscow, and they each, like, basically writhe around for, like, 3 seconds before it dies, and just, like, destroys New York and Moscow simultaneously. And then the US and Russia band together to, like, end the Cold War because they declare war on this interdimensional squid alien. And that's, like, how it ends?
Quality content.
Yeah. It's a really weird ending, but, like, that would not make sense to people today. Like, it just is so confusing.
That basically sounds like the plot of Attack on Titan. Have you seen Attack on Titan?
Yeah, not in years, but is it the plot? Yeah, I guess.
like spoilers for Attack on Titan, but the conspiracy theory is that the Titans are manufactured by the ruling class in order to quell civil disobedience and unite the people against a common enemy.
That would be a good Zack Snyder live-action movie.
Ooh.
Attack on Titan?
I think they made an Attack on Titan live-action movie.
I hope not without him. He would be perfect for it, like, honestly.
Oh, no. Oh, God, don't Google Attack on Titan movie trailer. Ooh, fuck.
Why?
So you know how the Titans are visually very disturbing in the anime?
Yeah.
Now imagine you rendered those with like 3D graphics.
What the fuck?
Like, you know how Pikachu was made very unpleasant by rendering it in, with real fur? Now, imagine that trauma times 10.
Oh, God.
This is nightmare fuel. This is 100%.
Oh, my God.
This is horrible.
That is completely terrifying.
Don't let Zack Snyder near this fucking thing.
Yo, he would
Jesus Christ.
He would still be good for it.
I don't want to know what's in there, man. I don't want to see his rendition of a Titan.
Oh, God, no. Come on. It would be so good.
No, this is no good.
Man,
well, until this very second, I thought the Titans and Attack on Titan.
God! There's so many of them. They're all so naked. They're so creepy.
Yeah, they're so terrible. That's true horror. Oh my God!
This is oh no!
God,
I'm gonna close this tab. Jesus Christ!
I actually kind of want to see at least clips of that movie. The rule of thumb to me is live action versions of an anime are almost never good. No matter how much money they dump into it. Like, I
have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Like, has there been a good one?
I don't think there's been one good one.
Like,
unless you count like Black Swan and Blue Valentine, sort of as like
were those animes
the same? Well, Blue Valentine was
really,
and then Black Swan was heavily influenced by Blue Valentine. Almost has the exact same plot. Sorry, Blue Valentine is a Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, that's what movie. I thought you were talking about. Like that's what I meant.
Perfect. I meant Perfect Blue. The anime directed by Satoshi Kon, and then Aronofsky for Black Swan. I think Darren Aronofsky did he purchase all the rights of Satoshi Kon's stuff?
Did he make Drive? Is that
or something?
That's Nicholas Winding Refn.
No.
What else did Darren Aronofsky make?
Let's see. What
I never saw Black Swan.
I think what did he? Oh, he made Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, that guy. All right.
Pi.
Who made
Jackie
the Wrestler?
Oh, that guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
These are all movies that I've never seen, but I all know they're good.
Oh wow, he made White Boy Rick? Huh.
Oh, is that movie good?
It looked good.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Matthew Mahogany was in it. Yo, speaking of
Matthew
him,
Macaroni was in it.
Speaking of him, have you guys seen the new season of True Detective?
Very good.
It's not out yet, is it?
It is.
Two episodes are out.
Came out last week. Yeah.
Very good.
My God, I missed it.
Fuck up.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it, and then we'll talk about it next
time.
Marshmallow Ali's in it.
Marshmallow Ali. I found out.
Just a man with a giant inscrutable hat.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how that's the plot.
I found out how to say the name.
Where's the boy?
Here's the thing. Okay, so I forgot Christina's sister for a couple years lived in New Orleans and was a PA on movies. So she got to hang. She babysat Matthew Mahogany's kids and McConaughey.
I said it. Saying his name like a type of species of wood.
It's canon.
But she knows
Matthew Mahogany.
She knows Matthew McConaughey and oh my God, the guy who was in from Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah. But
she worked with Mahershala.
Yeah, not Marshmallow. What the fuck are you mispronouncing all these names?
Marzipan Ali.
Anyway, it's really good. The new season is really good and creepy.
High hopes,
and it is pretty spooky. I'm gonna watch the episodes again, but it made me like it so much. I watched all of the first season of True Detective recently again. God, that show is fucking good. And every time I watch it, still, I'm picking up on things I hadn't seen before. You know, there's
a real
so much
moment in time.
When do the True Detective shows release? What day?
Sunday 9:30.
Sunday at 9.
Sunday nights. Oh boy,
HBO primetime shows are always Sundays at 9, so they like switch off. So it's like this will go into, I think Game of Thrones will be the one after this probably.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I guess we can roll into the cool things category, but High Maintenance is coming back. Have you guys watched that show? That show is amazing, dude.
No, I haven't watched it.
Is it really like that good?
It's really good episodic storytelling. So basically, the premise of the show is the main protagonist is a weed dealer, and he's going around town delivering weed to people. And then once he delivers the weed to the people, you kind of get small short stories of these people. And it's all these really well done character portraits of like some weird hipster mom or this like old couple who are dealing with being empty nesters trying to like explore an Airbnb in New York.
Yeah.
It's like really cool episodic storytelling, very good writing, and really pretty cinematography.
Yeah, it's people are going back to doing episodic things because remember the trend for a long time was for a few years was doing stuff with a continuity.
Yeah,
like even South Park got a continuity at one point.
This shit goes way back to like it was originally short videos on Vimeo, and then it got bought up by HBO.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool. High maintenance.
The other good HBO show that's like that is I mean, as far as weed goes, there was a show called Bored to Death that was great, but that Room 104 or whatever, which was the Duplass Brothers show, where it's like
the Shining documentary.
No.
I think that's Room 237.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Room 104. It's about a motel room where like every episode just like weird shit happens. Like one is a female only fight club, and then one is like a cult. Then one's like an old couple and it's like a comedy. Like they just use that to do like these 30-minute self-contained stories. It's like that. But it's the Duplass brothers who made Wild Wild Country.
Yeah.
They're great directors.
That's really cool. So my came from the internet is there's this reporter. You may have seen him. His name's Charlie Leduff. And he's from Detroit, and he's this like Detroit news anchor, but he does these segments where he goes out in the community and stuff. And the dude's pretty funny, and he sort of like, in a sarcastic way, talks about the sort of how Detroit is changing and the landscape of Detroit. And so some examples of stories he's done. He's golfed through the abandoned parts of Detroit, where he would like just take a golf ball and just hit it, and then he would just kind of try to play from the south side to the north side or something like that. And he would just like talk to people along the way. Another one where he goes and he canoes down the Detroit River, which is not something people do because it's not like a recreation river. But yeah, the guy's pretty funny. He does really good commentary on Detroit. And yeah, I don't know how. I don't think he has his own YouTube channel. He's just like he's a playlist on the Detroit Local News' YouTube. But if you search up Charlie Leduff on YouTube, you're gonna get a lot of good stuff.
Word.
Yeah. And this is episode 56 coming to a close. We have a YouTube channel. Kevin's been posting up all of our audio clips on there, and then also on Twitter we've been getting some little snippets of our episodes, so you can skip right ahead to the funny parts. Spoiler alert, it's pretty much all of them, so we don't know how many to choose.
What little bit of gold there is,
we found it.
Yeah,
and we've put it up there. We got pretty graphics and everything, so check us out on Twitter, YouTube, and at blackmailmaterial.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.
Bye. Peace.